Welcome back, boys and girls. This is Miss Robinson, your science teacher, and this is going to be the last week we meet. So I decided to continue going over some stuff, reviewing them from earlier in the school year, and today we're going to be going over types of energy. There's all different types of energy, but in first and second grade, we talk about 3 types of energy primarily. I want you to turn, if there's someone next to you, and talk to them about the types of energy you remember from last year, from talking about it, or earlier in the school year. I'll give you about a minute to do that. All right, so first we're going to talk about heat energy. Heat energy. So let's write this down. Heat energy. And when you get older, this is also called thermal energy. So I'm going to write or thermal. Is energy that makes things warmer. Energy that makes things warmer. Energy that makes things warmer. I'll give you about 30 more seconds because we had a little bit of time while I was also writing it. Okay, so let's draw some examples that could cause heat energy or things that will make energy that makes things warmer. So I want you to think about this. I'm going to give you 30 seconds to think about or talk about, if you have someone next to you, what are some things that, ways we could, what are some energy that can make things warm? What are some examples of this? One example of heat energy would be the sun. And we have to be very specific because that could be as we'll learn later, that could be a few different types of thermal energy. But if we draw the sun and we're talking about the heat from the sun, most of us, we live in Houston, right? It's really hot during the summer, and when the sun's out, it's even hotter. That is heat energy. So let's draw a sun. Remember, we want it to look accurate, so it needs to be like yellow and orangish. So I'm going to write a sentence with this, and I'm going to say, heat from the sun is an example of heat energy. heat from the sun as an example of heat energy. I'm going to give you guys about a minute and 45 seconds to finish drawing your sun and write your sentence. You could word it differently, but you need to talk about how the sun's heat is an example of heat or thermal energy. About 30 more seconds. 30 more seconds. Okay, so let's think of another example. Another example I can think of is a cup of hot chocolate. A cup of hot chocolate or coffee, the heat coming out of it is giving off heat energy. So let's draw a little cup of coffee or hot chocolate. I'm going to draw some marshmallows on it so I know it's hot chocolate. And I'm going to draw my mug. I'm going to say hot chocolate gives off heat for thermal energy. And you could write it like we did before. Heat from hot chocolate is an example of heat energy, or an example of thermal energy is hot chocolate's heat. But I'm going to say hot chocolate gives off thermal energy, because we need to see it both in thermal energy and heat energy. I'm going to give you about a minute for this. About 30 more seconds. All right, the next type of energy we're going to go over is light energy. Light energy. So let's write that down. So now we're going to be going over light energy. Light energy. And light energy is energy that our eyes can see. Energy our eyes can see. I'll give you guys 30 seconds to write that down. Okay. So light energy is energy our eyes can see. It's usually something that's being lit up. So there's different types of examples of light energy. One example are like the lights we see at our home, at outside, the street lights, anything that has light to it. So we could do an example of a light bulb. It's a light bulb. We usually have a little silver part right here for the electricity. Light bulbs that are on and showing light are an example of light energy. Light bulbs that are on and showing light are an example of light energy. I'm going to give you guys about a minute and a half for this. A minute and a half to draw your light bulb and write your sentence. Okay, so there's a couple other examples. Another example that we actually use as an example for heat energy is also an example for light energy, and that's the sun. The sun is another example, but this time we're not talking about the heat coming from the sun. We're talking about the light we see from the sun. That light we see from the sun is light energy. Another way of saying that is solar energy, and sometimes people power their houses and other electronics with solar power. So it's a very important form of energy. let's say the light energy from the sun can be used instead of electricity. Right? It can power things in our houses without having to plug stuff in. I'm going to give you guys about a minute on half on this one too. We're going to do one more example for this. All right. So I said we were going to do one more example, but we're actually going to do two more, but we won't we'll make it one sentence. Okay, I'll do it on this. So we're continuing our light energy. And there's two major ones I kind of want to talk about that happen in nature besides the sun. We can see lightning, right? We've all seen lightning before. So lightning, you guys see that? I'll write it in a darker color. Lightning. And also fire. Fire can give off heat energy, which we didn't give it as our example for heat energy, but it can also give off light energy. You can power things with the light of the fire. So I'm going to write for my sentence, two examples found of light energy found in nature are lightning and fire. I'm going to give you guys about a minute and a half for this, and then we're going to move on to the last form of energy we're going to talk about today. Okay, last one is sound energy. Sound energy. And this is energy that we can hear. It's another way of saying it is a form of energy made when an object moves so quickly that we can hear it. A form of energy made when an object moves so quickly we can hear it. I'm going to give you a minute to write this down. All right. So some examples of sound energy are like music or instruments that make music. Um, Also just hearing all kinds of things. Like you can hear the air conditioning going, that's sound energy. If you can hear the ceiling fan running, that's sound energy. When your phone rings, that's sound energy. So I think I'm gonna draw a guitar first. All right. And all right, we have a guitar. You could hear music from your phone, right? Let's say your headphones are plugged into it. And I'll just draw some musical notes coming from these so we can tell that's what it means. All right. You can label this a guitar. And I'm going to say for my sentence that instruments and music are examples of sound energy. All right, I'm going to give you about a minute and a half to finish your drawings and write your sentence. A minute and a half. About 30 more seconds. All right. So today we went over 3 different forms of energy. We went over heat energy, and that's energy that comes from heat, anything warm like the heater, the sun, hot chocolate, coffee, a fireplace, the warmth from the fireplace. And light energy, although some of the examples are the same, right? The sun, we could say the fire and stuff, that's the energy that's coming from the light from those things, right? The light bulb, the lightning. Those are all examples of like how energy can be formed from the light. And then we went over sound energy, and that's just anything we hear. And how we tend to hear things is that there's something moving so quickly that it makes a sound. All right, great job, guys. It was our last time meeting, but it was really nice getting to teach all about science this semester. Have a great summer. Bye.